Chicago families should be learning tonight whether school is canceled tomorrow. This all depends on the outcome of a vote Chicago Teachers Union members are taking as we speak. Amanda Vinicky joins us now with the latest. Amanda, what is it?
Brandon, the latest, actually, we are set to hear sometime after 7:30 because Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and CPS CEO Pedro Martinez are set then to give the city and journalists an update. Now, that will be before Chicago Teachers Union members have finished voting. They have until roughly 9 tonight to cast ballots online as CTU members decide whether they're going to refuse to physically go to the classrooms tomorrow and instead teach remotely. If CTU does vote for that remote option, that's something that Martinez and Lightfoot say will lead them to cancel all CPS classes tomorrow.
If we pause, what do we say to those parents who can't afford to hire somebody to come in and watch their kids, who can't ship their kids off to some other place? What do we say to those students who are already struggling? You know, I want to emphasize this point. 100,000 kids that we lost contact with through remote learning. We're just getting that back.
CTU President Jesse Sharkey telling CNN earlier today that while remote learning was unpleasant, he says the Lightfoot administration and the district have not done enough in the face of those skyrocketing Omicron cases to keep schools safe.
What we're talking about is the very highest part of a surge. And I mean, if we had testing, if we had a way to help ensure that people coming into the buildings weren't carrying the Omicron variant, that would be a different matter. But that's not what's going on right now. And so, you know, the teachers are being put in the unfortunate situation where we're trying to keep people safe. We're trying to run school and we're not being given the tools to do it.
Union and school district bargaining teams did meet this afternoon, CPS saying that it did offer the union to come to terms on things that the union had been asking for, like providing staff 200,000 KN95 masks, allowing principals to re-implement health screenings and temperature checks, COVID testing at all schools, including 30,000 screening tests district-wide each week, having daily meetings with CTU leadership to address school-specific concerns about COVID, and then metrics that would automatically move schools to remote learning, but only if, and these are rough because it gets kind of specific here, roughly half of students or about 40% of teachers in a school are out because of COVID. And those metrics, I talked to a couple of folks with CTU, said that they're offensive, laughable even. You have Kathy Griffin, she's president of the Illinois Education Association, a union, by the way, not affiliated with the CTU. She says the IEA and its members want to teach and they want to do it in schools, but she says it has to be done safely and with enough staff.
If the staff, the teachers, just like everyone else around the country, is getting infected with COVID, you are not going to have enough people to be in front of, to work with students. And we know that we need to maintain that social distancing for their safety. So you can't have an overload of students in your classroom that is too large for your classroom to fit. So it is a big problem.
West Chicago District 33 last week knew that enough teachers were going to be absent this week that Superintendent Kristen Davis says she had to make the call early that this week the district would go all remote. She says her school can cover about 45 absences, but she knew they'd be dealing with a lot more.
So when you're talking about 72 and additional 51, that's really significant. And that includes all staff. You know, we also have custodial staff. We had a significant amount of our custodial staff that was out. I believe we had about 9 as of Monday. So being able to keep our buildings clean, the daily operations was also impacted. So it's not really just a classroom issue. You also have to deal with and plan for the daily operations.
Governor J.B. Pritzker's administration does not have statewide metrics for when schools should go remote, and the State Board of Education does not track when districts take what are called adaptive pauses because of it. So really, there is no way to definitively know what all schools statewide are doing in the face of the Omicron variant. Emily Warnicki is with the State Association of School Administrators and says superintendents are likewise waiting to hear whether CDC guidelines that shorten quarantine for asymptomatic cases of COVID from 10 days down to 5. Whether that will apply to schools, as that has a big impact on staffing.
Our administrators have gotten extremely creative with how to deal with these shortages. They've hired permanent substitutes. They, reassign staff members every day to cover areas of critical need. But it seems like we're hearing, as we're coming off of this break, more staff members out than we've seen throughout the course of the pandemic.
Now, beyond CPS's decision to cancel class on Wednesday, if CTU does vote to go remote, it is unclear on what is next. The district calling what CTU is threatening to do an illegal action. Meanwhile, the union saying that it has the contractual right to a safe workplace. Rob Bruno teaches labor law and he says that from a labor law perspective, this is uncharted territory.
You still have hundreds of thousands of kids who need to be in school. You have teachers who want to teach and you need to keep them safe. You have families that want their kids educated and have jobs they need to get to. So all those dynamics are unfolding.
For now, we in Chicago Family await the results of this evening's vote, and we'll also be waiting to hear what the mayor has to say later this evening, and I'll check back with you in the show later on with that. So for now, Brandis, back to you.
That's right, Amanda. We'll be seeing you a little bit later on and hopefully have some more information then as well. Thank you.